Thank you, Mayor. So, not to exhaust the Franklin Day. Next year, if we can get the old police car, an old fire truck there, that would be really cool and give people some real insight into the history of Franklin, and you know, you start to realize how old our town is and how much we've evolved. So anyway, my understanding is they both can be provided if they reach out to, I know this year, you have to do these a long time in advance, but anyway, I just want to let you know. And of course, I guess it arrived on Sunday, it was late, the dog tank for the mayor that we'll have there for next year.
Oh.
Right? That was already approved, right? Anyway, Carl, if it's good enough for deputy mayor, right? A week of the people. Anyway, while they're still here, I wanted to thank the PBA. Sometimes when you least expect it or would least think of it, they pop up and show up and do little things like that. When I say little, I mean, may seem little in cost or something, but it's the thought and the effort and the fact that they come through when others necessarily don't think of it or don't. I know there was some piece of equipment years ago for teenagers, some computer equipment. And, I just started thinking when you mentioned that, all the things that you do when you see little things supported by PBA when nonprofits are having events, etc. So, you know, separate from the police work, you see them in uniforms. They're people, they're part of the community, and they care about the town. What else was I going to say? Oh, there was a meeting, emergency management committee. On a serious note, we meet a few times a year to make sure Franklin is ready to go when there is emergency, especially catastrophic one. And I'm confident things are rolling along really well. I'm not going to go into every issue. The two main topics, at least that I was mainly interested or concerned with, the tweaking out the final little aspects of our plan if and when we ever need to evacuate amounts of people like we had to a handful in Sandy, and making sure that we have our reception center temporary shelter up to par, and we're working on tweaking out the last few aspects of that, including where and how to shelter our cots, etc., to make sure everything is ready to go, God forbid we ever had to. And after what we've seen recently with weather and other situations, obviously we want to be totally up to date with that. And the other issue is staying on top of, we have a handful of industries, manufacturing, and other sites that have to have hazardous materials of some sort, and confident we're working closely with them to make sure everything is in place to where it needs to be. So if there was ever any situation, we're ready to respond. The last thing I'm just going to say is I know we'll have to kind of adjust and transition because it's not summer, school's in session, there's more cars on the road, but when you see those flashing lights at schools that say 25 miles an hour, please, please slow down. Just my own personal experience and others that talk to me, seems like people are just not paying close enough attention. That, and just in general, I know we're in a rush, getting kids to school and everything else, but try to slow down a little. We have a lot of cars, a lot of people traveling our roadways, so I just ask you to be really conscious of that, especially as it relates to schools. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.